Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Let's get to today's transfer news and let's start with Mikel Merino. This deal is finally close to being done. He's finally passed his medical as reported by Fabrizio Romano earlier today. Mikel Merino has completed his medical as new Arsenal player with clubs exchanging documents, deal being sealed. We know about the fee, obviously, 32 million plus 5 million in add-ons, euros, contract until 2028 plus option for further season. We've already discussed that multiple times over the last 4 or 5 days, but the medical, he has passed the medical. He arrived for yesterday. I think it was Saturday when he arrived for the medical, and it's finally been done. Fantastic. This is another great signing. Looking at our performance yesterday against Aston Villa, if he had someone like a Merino to that midfield, it's going to get even stronger. So this is going to be a very, very big deal for us. When is it going to be announced? We know that Arsenal usually take a bit of time to also announce players. Let's hope I'd say Monday or Tuesday. It's going to be announced. He's going to be announced as an Arsenal player, and by the weekend against Brighton, he probably makes his debut. So we're going to have a full. It's going to have a full week training with Arsenal. So that is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So welcome to Arsenal, Mikel Merino. That deal is pretty much done. I cannot wait for him to get started as an Arsenal player. The way we dominated Aston Villa yesterday, by the way, I'm still buzzing from that result. That was a big, big win. The way we dominated them in terms of okay, it wasn't like a completely fantastic performance, but the way they had two chances with Watkins and the one with Ramsdale where Saliba made a tackle, but there's never really a time that I felt like, oh my goodness, like Aston Villa could score 2 or 3 goals here against us. I never feel that way these days with Arsenal because we control a lot of games. Although yesterday we gave Aston Villa a couple of chances, Area made a fantastic save yesterday. But most of the games that we play, I usually feel very safe, very comfortable. And Merino is going to add to that. We already took a look at his stats the last two months. The fact that he's very good at duels in midfield, I cannot wait for him to get started. So I won't talk about that too much. He's already an Arsenal player. We'll talk about him when he's announced by Arsenal later on this week. Next up, let's go to Nketiah. Now, this is a big week. Now have 5 days remaining in the transfer window. Am I worried still about Nketiah potentially staying at Arsenal not signing a forward because Nketiah is staying? No, I'm still not worried. 5 days to go. There's a lot of players who are going to leave Arsenal this week, and you're hoping for a couple of deals in terms of incomings. Now, this news came out today, and as always, sorry, it literally makes me laugh. As always, people were like, melting, like Arsenal fans are having a meltdown, like, oh my goodness, Nketiah is staying. So this news came out today. David Dunstan reported that Nketiah's proposed move to Nottingham Forest has broken down. Deal in place between Nottingham and Arsenal worth up to 30 million plus, but agreement could not be closed with 25-year-old striker. Transfer still expected to materialize elsewhere before window ends. So this news came out, and as always, Arsenal fans are like, here we go, Nketiah, no one wants him. Nottingham is not going to pay the 30 million, just take the 22 million. Nottingham Forest are back for the other striker that they've been looking for. Now, if they don't get him, I'm sure they could be back again, like later on this week. But they're not the only team that wants him. David Dunstan came back with another tweet literally a couple of minutes later, and this is what was reported. Crystal Palace considering move to sign Nketiah from Arsenal. 25-year-old did not proceed with Nottingham switch, despite Nottingham and Arsenal agreeing fee out to 30 million. Now Crystal Palace looking into deal, having previously held talks with. So they're saying that David Dunstan says that Nottingham and Arsenal are agreeing fee up to 30 million. Like, wait, despite Nottingham and Arsenal agreeing fee up to 30 million. So the fee, I don't know why it has broken down. I've actually not read the article from David Dunstan, but he says that the fee was close to 30 million. So Nottingham are close to getting to that. So I don't know why it broke down. I don't know if it's him who decided not to go there because he wanted, I think, more than 100,000 per week. So there's that as well. Fabrizio also reported this. Crystal Palace approached Nketiah's campus as is now one of the options being considered. Nketiah still expected to leave Arsenal after deal off with Nottingham Forest. So we still have a bit of news on Nketiah from different outlets. So Sky Sports Seth reported this as well 1 hour ago. Crystal Palace and an unnamed European club are exploring a deal for Nketiah in the final week. So an unknown European club, we don't know where it's from, Spain, France, Italy, we don't know. But yeah, as I've always said, again, I'm not right. This week, just watch this week. We're going to hear another 2 Premier League teams say they want him. We're going to hear Serie A clubs saying they want him. We'll hear Ligue 1 clubs saying they want him. I'm not worried about teams wanting him. Now, the only issue is that 30 million. Hopefully someone gets to that 30 million or close. For me, I was willing to accept, listen, even if you pay us 25 million plus 5 million in add-ons, I'm absolutely fine with that if you can't get to the 30 million package. But I don't want like a 22 million without anything to add. No add-ons, no bonuses, no sell-on clause or anything like that. No, I don't want it to be just 22 million. No. We've seen players moving for 30 million, 35 million this transfer, especially the last 2 weeks. We've seen some average players moving for 35 million, 40 million. So we should be able to get 30 million at least for Nketiah. Let's see if you're going to get it this week. Now, teams will get desperate. That is what I'm banking on. The final week, teams are going to get desperate. Teams are the Crystal Palace, for example. David Onstein has just written in the article. Let's read the article first before talk about Crystal Palace. This is what David Onstein has had to write in the Athletic article. Crystal Palace are considering a move for Arsenal striker Nketiah. Nketiah had looked close to joining Nottingham Forest after the City Ground club agreed a fee worth up to £30 million with Arsenal for the 25-year-old. But the deal has broken down after Forest were unable to finalize an agreement with the player. So that is why it has broken down. It's not about the fee and Nottingham Forest not being able to get the player. It's Nottingham Forest and Nketiah not agreeing. So I think Nketiah wanted a certain amount of money, and Nottingham Forest have not been able to pay that. So it's not even about Arsenal and any other team, and Arsenal and Nottingham Forest not agreeing a fee. No, we've actually agreed a fee, but Nketiah maybe has changed his mind last minute and doesn't want to go to Nottingham Forest because they're not giving him enough money. Nketiah had previously appeared ready to join Marseille earlier this summer, but the French side and Arsenal were unable to compromise on a price for the proposed switch. Marseille have since signed Wahi from Lens. Palace have held long-standing admiration for Nketiah and spoke to Arsenal regarding the England international earlier this summer. Nketiah scored 38 goals in 168 games for Arsenal after coming through the academy. He netted 6 times in 37 appearances, blah, blah, blah. They're talking about his form at Arsenal. But this is the part for Palace. Palace has struggled at the start of the new campaign, suffering defeats against West Ham and Brentford. Before Saturday's 2-0 home loss against West Ham, Palace manager Oliver Glasner said his squad had been unsettled by the departures from their squad with Olise and Anderson, the headline exits. So that is what I'm pretty much saying. Teams will get desperate. Teams have now lost 2 games, the first 2 games of the season. Teams like Crystal Palace will be desperate to get a striker in. Nottingham Forest will be like, oh, we're not getting this player. Should we come back for him? Teams from other countries, maybe they've lost the first 2 games. Maybe a striker's picked up a red card or an injury, and teams are getting desperate to sign a striker. And there's not too many other strikers in the transfer market. There's not too many others. So the few that are available, one of them is Nketiah. So those teams, whether we don't rate him or whatever, teams will come in for him. So I'm very confident this week we'll eventually we are going to eventually sell Nketiah. And the reason why he's not going to Nottingham Forest is not really because of the 30 million. Arsenal and Nottingham Forest had agreed on 30 million, but the players not agreed to move there. So that again is because that would be another complication. He has to agree to move to those teams. So that is where the problem could come in. If he just says, actually, no, I don't want to go, there's nothing you can do after that. Even if you agree 40 million with another team, he has to want to go. And the fact that his box was cleared and all that, and the fact that he knows he's not going to play this season, he hasn't played a minute in the first 2 games this season, I'm thinking he's definitely going to want to move on. I don't think it's going to settle for whatever demands he has, especially if like all the other teams refuse to pay that to him. He's going to have to move on. He's going to have to reduce his demands because he's not going to play at us. So he's just going to be on the bench, especially if he sign a couple of forward players this week. He's just going to be on the bench and he's going to waste his career, and he's approaching the prime of his career. There's literally no need for him to do that. So that's not the only player we're expecting to leave Arsenal this week. Kiwior could be another one. This is what is being reported by Di Marzio from Italy. Bologna want to take Jakub Kiwior on an onerous loan, which includes an option to buy should Arsenal be open to the deal. The clubs have strong relations after the Riccardo Calafiori transfer earlier this summer. Onerous loan, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. But they want him on a loan deal. That's very interesting. Can I get the meaning of that word? But Kiwior, Bologna, we were told back when you were trying to sign Calafiori, they wanted him, but they didn't want him to be included in the same deal or something like that. Let's see. Onerous means I've never come across that word in terms of loan. Onerous means I'm involving a great deal of effort, trouble, or difficulty. Let's see. Bologna want to take Jakub Kiwior on an onerous loan. My goodness. Why do they have to complicate all this thing? Just tell us they want him on loan. They're ready to pay out this crazy words, onerous loan, venomous loan. What does all this mean? Like, though Bologna want him. So there's still a chance Kiwior could end up staying at Arsenal, but there's still a chance someone from Syria could end up buying him this coming week. So this is an interesting one for me. I don't think a loan deal is worth it. If you're going to let go of Kiwior, for me, I'm happy to keep him. If teams really want him, let's get us that 20-25 million, and then we can let him go after that. But for me, right now, loan deal does not really help us unless it has an obligation to buy, and they say next season they're going to pay us 25 million or something. They're well and good, but it doesn't really benefit us to loan him out, Jakub Kiwior. But this one is one to keep an eye on this week. Right now, I don't think he's going to get too many chances to play because yesterday we saw we started with Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White. Calafiori was the one who came on for Timber. Tomias is still going to come back. Zinchenko is already there. So how many games is Kiwior going to get? Not too many. He's only going to probably feature in the cup games, or like maybe if a couple of our players pick up injuries. I don't know. Tierney is still an Arsenal player, by the way. He's not gone anywhere. He still has an injury. You're going to struggle to sell him, but I don't think he's going to feature next. So I think what is going to happen if Tierney, recovers like in September, October, if no team buys him this remaining 5 days, his contract is going to be cancelled or something, and he's going to end up leaving on a free. I can't see him returning to the Arsenal team, but that is another left back we need to sort out again this coming week. Fabio Vieira is already, we've already gotten a here we go for Fabio Vieira. Is on his way to FC Porto on loan. I don't want us to do too many loan deals, especially if players are coming back next season. I just hope we can get that money and sell most of the players that are linked to moves away. Aaron Ramsdale. What's the latest on Aaron Ramsdale? Another player we're expecting to leave this week. Arsenal are keen to negotiate an obligation to buy any potential loan deal for Aaron Ramsdale. However, could yet accept an option to buy provided they receive a notable loan fee. Potential buyers also cover a large percentage of his 120k a week salary. So Arsenal still want an obligation to buy. I agree with that as well, just like Kiwior. A loan deal doesn't really benefit us because Ramsdale is not really coming to play for Arsenal. So unless it's an obligation to buy where you are promised, listen, you're going to give you 28 million next season, take him on loan like we did with David Raya, that is fine. But in terms of loan deal and then he comes back next time, that's why like dealing with Southampton in this scenario is not the best, because it depends on whether they stay up or not. Like if they stay up, then they can sign him. If they go down, which is a huge opportunity, they've already lost 2 games in a row so far. He comes back to us, and then we have to look for another market for him next season, which becomes too stressful. I don't think in a position to do that. So already right now, we are being told that Arsenal are expecting a lot of Premier League teams to come in for him this week. Southampton have been mentioned, Wolves have been mentioned, and Southampton, Wolves, and there's definitely another team. Which team am I forgetting? There's 3 teams that already want Aaron Ramsdale. So I think Bournemouth is a team. So hopefully another couple of teams come in for him, and maybe a couple of teams from abroad try to sign him this particular week. He's definitely not going to play this season. He already knows that. So we can't just waste him on the bench for another season. His value is going to keep on dropping. You have to get a market for him with an obligation to buy. Unless it goes down to Thursday, and it's looking very difficult, then an option to buy would be okay. Maybe bank on him going there and doing well, and then maybe you can sell him after that. But Aaron Ramsdale is another one that we are waiting to get done this week. A lot is going to happen this week, especially in terms of outgoings. A lot is going to happen. Fabio Vieira is on his way to FC Porto. Ramsdale could be leaving. Nketiah could be leaving. Kiwior could be leaving. Nelson, that one has gone quiet. How's that deal going to? What's going to happen with Reece Nelson this week? Is he going to end up staying? I don't know. Lastly, on Gabriel Jesus' injury, this is what has been reported. Initial indications are that Gabriel Jesus' injury is not serious. He is expected to miss a relatively short period, helped by the upcoming international break. So yeah, there's an upcoming international break. I say thank goodness it's not a knee injury, but hopefully this groin injury doesn't keep him out for too long again. We don't want 2-3 separate injuries affecting Gabriel Jesus, because that is going to be destructive, man, because the knee injury disturbs him a lot. You don't want another separate injury to keep him out of the game. So luckily we have an international break coming up that will give time to players like Gabriel Jesus and Tomiyasu to recover. Hopefully we can beat Brighton next week, and then 2 weeks after that Tottenham, Man City gets real business after that. So let's hope Jesus recovers. Ali, looking at our bench yesterday, we only really had Trossard to bring on from the bench. If you have Jesus there and Trossard or Martinelli, and then you have Merino there, and then you have Calafiori or Timberwaves on the bench and Zinchenko, that's a good bench. So let's hope these players recover so that we do have a good bench. But let me know what you make of all that. Would you be happy to give out Ramsdale on loan without an option to buy? And what do you think of the Nketiah situation? Because Arsenal and Nottingham had agreed on the 30 million, but Nketiah has not agreed to join Nottingham Forest, which doesn't fare well. So let's see what happens this coming week. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.